So the basics. Yesterday we talked about what is the cloud security and what is the cloud computing things. Today we are gonna start with our main topics. Okay.
Okay,
I know you have a basic knowledge about the IAM in AWS.
right.
Okay. So before going to IAM, I am thinking I will tell you about the Microsoft Entra ID, like which is also called our Active Directory.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so how much do you comfortable with right now with Azure? Like how much percent from 100?
Not comfortable at all.
That that's no problem. Okay, okay, no problem. It's like similar to AWS, but only the name differences there are, and
Okay,
something. Okay, so at first, going from the Entra ID, let's start from why we are learning Entra ID. So the Entra ID is like a IAM in AWS. It is same as in Azure. Okay, like if we want to create multiple users, if we want to work on like if you want to work on some policies and set up policies for users, these all the things we do with the help of Entra ID. Okay.
okay,
Okay, so it is like at first I will tell you the backstory of the Entra ID. Before, in any company, if you work, it might say you about the Active Directory. Okay,
right.
the name is also the Active Directory. It is called AD. So before 2023, this Entra ID's name is Active Directory. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so multiple like the senior persons in the Azure, they says the Entra ID as Active Directory, but the name changed because the Active Directory is only about some basic policies. In Entra ID, they introduce some policies which will help us in multiple things. So you are told me you have worked in the
right.
administration.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know what is ADDS?
What is word?
ADDS.
Active Directory, directory services,
Yes, not Active Directory, directory services. Basically, it is your Active Directory domain service.
domain service.
Yes, Active Directory domain service. Active Directory domain service.
Right.
Okay. So what we have at first we learn about Entra ID. So what is Microsoft Entra ID? It is Azure's formerly known as Azure's Active Directory AD, and it is Microsoft IAM solutions, which is similar to our AWS IAM solutions, used for authentications, access control, multi-factor authentication, and security policies. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So it helps us to secure our sign-ins, secure our resource access, like which access we want to give, like same as AWS. I will take the reference of AWS because we have worked in AWS. Like in AWS, we give some administration access, some read-only access. The same we do here also. Okay.
okay,
Okay, so now going for the Entra ID. At first, the difference between Entra ID and Active Directory Domain Service (ADDS). It is also an interview questions in the security perspective. What is Entra ID and what is Active Directory Domain Service? Do you know something about Active Directory Domain Services? Ever you worked on like setting Active Directory in your Windows servers?
yeah. I have used Active Directory to manage users, servers, and access and
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure. Let's say if we build a
Mm-hmm.
server. So in the
Yes.
Active Directory, you have different groups. If that server belongs to a
Mm-hmm.
particular group, you add that server to that group so that automatically assume the privileges in that group. If you create a user, the same way too, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the Active Directory, you create the
Mm-hmm.
user in the group where it belongs, and that user is going to assume um the privileges that are attached to that
Yes.
group.
Okay, okay, that's good. So what happens in Active Directory domain service? There we have our main server. It is a on-premises server, which is owned by our company and owned by our organization. So here, what we do, here we do like at first we set up our server and all the things. After that, setting the server, we promote our role, like what we have to promote, like which role we have to promote. Then after that, what we will do, we will schedule, like we will set our Active Directory. Then after setting our Active Directory, we have got something like our domain, like class.com or something like that. So with the help of this domain, every employees can access our this server. Okay, similar like that,
Right.
there are multiple steps also inside that. Okay, so now it's clear.
Yep.
So there is a question: what is Entra ID, or we can say Active Directory, and what is the difference between Active Directory domain services? The main difference you can say to your interviewer that the main difference is the Active Directory domain services is worked on premises directory. Okay,
Okay.
like we will work on our own premises server, but the Entra ID work on cloud based system. It is the Entra ID is not only for Azure. At first you have to know that the Entra ID, like our IAM for our Azure, it is not only for Azure. We can use it for Microsoft 365 also, like where our all the Microsoft suites will become, like our Microsoft
Right.
Word, Microsoft Excel, and all the Outlook configuration. These all came inside that. So it is the Entra ID is also be same for that. Like if you are having any Azure account, you are doing something inside your Entra ID. Okay, you are having your Azure account with a Gmail name of like mayank@gmail.com. Okay,
Right.
the same Gmail if you use in your Microsoft 365, so these Entra ID will be also worked on this. You can set your permissions there also. Okay,
Okay.
okay, so there are, it is also work on Intune. Like the Intune we have, it is used for the security perspectives, and there are multiple likes AVD. AVD is basically for our virtual machines. We set our virtual machines using AVD, so we can use these same, our Entra ID will be used on Microsoft 365, Intune, AVD. There we all can use the same Entra ID. Okay,
Okay.
okay. The Entra ID will use OAuth, OpenID, SAML, and while ADDS use Cabros and NTLM. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now, why we using Microsoft Entra ID for securing our authentication for cloud applications? Single sign-on. Do you know what is single sign-on?
Yes.
Okay, what is single
It is.
sign-on?
It is. It is a process whereby you sign on to multiple applications with one sign in.
That's good. Yes, with this single sign-in, we can log into multiple accounts. There is a
Right.
MFA. I don't think I have to tell you about MFA. It is a multi-factor authentication, which is
Yeah.
used
Right.
for authenticate in like it's set our multiple layers there, so we can do the multi-factor authentication. Then conditional accesses for user-based policies, and we don't need any on-premises server. Basically we have our Azure server, so we don't need our on-premises infrastructure. Okay,
Right.
right. Okay, there is a thing name called tenant in Microsoft Entra ID. Okay, now going from showing you the PPT, I will directly put you inside our Active Directory in our Azure portal. Okay, now this is
Okay.
our Azure portal. Okay,
Okay.
so you are saying this is our main screen, which will show our dashboard. It is where we can
Yes.
search and all these things. This is our cloud shell, and from using the cloud shell, we can also access our this whole browser, like a whole this Microsoft Azure account, if we use cloud
Okay.
shell. by using our terminal commands. Then our notifications, our settings, our question mark where we can support and all, there we can add a feedback. It is our the main thing where our profile sections. Okay.
Okay.
Here we got our all the services here. If we click on the more service part, it will show our all services we have inside our, yeah, Azure account, like regarding our AI plus machine learning, and regarding our compute services. Like we have same the EC2 there. Here we have virtual machines. Okay, there are also for the containerization, like Docker we have. So for the Docker, they use the containerization thing here. Then the database thing, the same as we have in there. For the DevOps, the main we have here about Azure DevOps. Then the general settings. Then our hybrid plus multi-cloud. Then our identity. This is our main thing where we have to look at first. The identity is regarding how we set some protocols, some policies. So who is going to access our Azure account? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what we can do, we can directly search upside there our Microsoft Entra ID. Okay. We can search here Microsoft Entra ID here above. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is our Microsoft Entra ID. What is it previously named, used for the Entra ID? What is that?
Default
Give me the
directory.
answer. Active Directory. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So here what we are saying, it is the all regarding our, here you can say in the sidebar, it is all regarding our Microsoft Active ID things where we can set our roles and administration users. We can create groups of users, and we can assign the policies to that group, and multiple things we're gonna see which we gonna use. Now we came here a tenant ID. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know what is a tenant ID?
No.
So, okay. So the tenant ID is a unique ID which is given to every Azure account. A unique ID it is.
Okay.
Okay. So it is when you are creating any portal, like if you are having your own portal, you will get a tenant ID, and you will get a primary domain name. Like if we, where what we are getting, it is like mishra95762 at the rate gmail dot on microsoft.com. This is your primary domain. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it will, where it will helps us when we create another user. Okay, when we create any other user, it will be create like this. Okay, I will read the forward name before the, like mark.com Mayank Mishra 95762 at the rate gmail dot on microsoft.com. It will be the multiple companies have their own primary domain. Now I will again go to the here, and I will show you something. Like it is a account of a college where I have given the training in in a university. So I got credentials from them also. So this is a Microsoft Entra ID. If I will open there, so there is a primary domain is gu.ac.in. And every students have their own ID with like there are multiple users, 98,453. There are multiple groups, multiple application, multiple devices using. If I will click in the user section, you can see here like guac.microsoft.in. And if you check this this is all have their own ID. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called our intra ID. If we take an example, like if you are using Netflix have their same infrastructure. Like for every user, they use the same infrastructure, but they give all the user the different tenant IDs only for the isolation of the data. Did you understood?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can you tell me what is a tenant ID?
It is a unique. identity given to every Azure account.
Mhm. Okay, this tenant ID also have there a prime a domain name with them, which is we can use for the multiple things here for in our creating our servers and creating our rules. It is also be used. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so here we can see our users, how much users we have, how much groups we have in our account, how much applications we have, how much devices we have connected with this account.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So again, we go to the tenant ID. So tenant in Microsoft Entra ID, it is a dedicated instance of Microsoft Entra ID for an organization. Like every company have their own tenant IDs and own domain servers, which from which every employee will be logged in, logged out, anything he want to do. University, startup managing, and then our organizations can create multiple tenants. In one Azure account, you can create multiple tenants account. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you will get your own primary tenant, but you can access multiple. The this is like you can a main root user like admin. You can have multiple tenants ID with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So now I will go to some practical part here.
Okay.
Now we will see how we gonna create multiple users using the Active Directory. Okay.
Okay.
So for creating any users, there is a user section. Okay. This
All
is
right.
regarding our all users. There are multiple things: audit logs, sign logs, and our delete user, password reset, user setting, bulk operation results. And above in the navbar, we can say we can add our new user. Okay.
Okay.
If we want to add a single user, we will select this new user thing. If we want to add our bulk user, so we will set this bulk operations.
Okay.
We will select this bulk operations. We can click on the bulk create where we can create multiple users or we can send multiple invites in the bulk. At first, we will see the bulk user setting. We can go to new users. We will create a new user. Here after creating here, you can see here I am getting here this. What is this? Do you know what is this?
Yeah, that is the intra ID, the domain
Yes,
name. Mm-hmm.
yes, it is our intra ID's domain name. Okay, we can say our tenant domain name also and our intra ID domain name. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So tenant have two things. The tenant is a unique ID and a domain name. So with the
Okay.
domain name, we will create multiple users. Okay. Is it this the same spelling, correct spelling of your name?
Minus R. Remove the R.
Okay. Mbe. Mbe.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So like if I'm creating you a user, okay, if I
Mm-hmm.
want you are I have a working in an organization, I want you will be a new employee in my company, I want to give you some access regarding our work like in some projects. So what I will do, I will create a new user here. Okay,
Right.
we can
Right.
set our your new user, and this is your the link you will got, and now you can set like the display name the same MB, and we can set a password. It will show us a password which is a default password it will give. What we can do, we can create our own password. Now we will set some password here like this. Okay.
Okay.
There I put it some number, random number, and two digits. Now there are some things we can set the properties here. We can set the identity, first name, last name. The user type is a member or it is a guest. The guest is only can see all the things but can't do anything. And the job information, if I want to put, I don't want to these things. This is all the task of your administration task. You have to put all the details, like your identity thing, your job information, your contact information. You can all the things add here. Okay.
Right.
Currently, I'm not going to add. Now you will go to the next part. In the next, you can add a group. The group is you of multiple roles or multiple policies, or you can add some role here. Like if you will click on add role, so you can give these roles. We're going to discuss them later in the next 2 minutes or few after half an hour after the thing. All the things will be
Okay.
done. But now currently I'm not going to, and I'm not adding any roles or any group. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now I will only do next, review and create. All the things are good. I will check the password again. I will, this is good. Now I will gonna click on create. So now what happens, it will gonna create our new account, which is our like similar to IAM user, but it is currently didn't have any access. Okay.
Yep.
Do you see here our user is
Yeah. I can.
created?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So there's a no problem in creating a user yet. Anything?
No. No problem.
Now, yes. Okay. So this now I want to show you something like regarding our Active Directory. There is a something we have to see at first. Okay.
Okay.
So now you can say here you are seeing this doc file.
Yes.
So there is also the pricing for our Active Directory or for our Entra ID. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So there currently we are using a free tire. So there are multiple another tires like Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2, which are the premiums. I will also show you which if it what is the difference between all these.
Right.
Okay. So the thing is the difference is you can see here from here. Okay, so here at first, if we starting from the free plan, we will got the basic user and group management. Okay,
Okay.
we can do the single sign-on setup. Like from the single sign-in, we can access multiple up to 10 apps. Okay,
Okay.
then the self-service password reset, we can do the password reset thing. But we have MFA. You have to notice this thing. Now we're gonna see this the MFA with limited limited functionality. The what happens if I will gonna log in your in this account, it will ask me to do a multi-factor authentication using a authenticator app
Oh,
in our
okay.
free plan. If I have my P1 plan or P2 plan, I can disable it. Like I say that every user doesn't need a multi-factor authentication. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
In free plan, we can't disable or enable it. Okay. So also, in P1 plan, it will be $6 per user per month, and it will helps you in conditional access. You will got all the access regarding multi-factor authentication. Like you can do all the things same as the basic features. You can use two extra thing like the group-based access management, Azure AD Connect, and Cloud App Discovery and Security Reports. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
When the P2 plan there, it helps, it gives more functionality. Okay, it gives us the identity protection, like for detecting the risky sign-ins, which like from which user did do the sign in using a different account or open the log in different system. All these we can also do with the P2 plan. Okay. So,
Okay.
so the free plan is good for the small businesses, but the P1 plan is from medium to large organizations, and the P2 plan for the enterprise level, where the organization must comply with the GDPR and HIPAA policies, all these. Okay.
All right.
And also, this is here we can do role-based auditing, least privilege we will give the user in P2 plan. We will give the
Okay.
least privilege to a user. We didn't give the global permissions, but in free plan, in P1 plan, we multiple times we give the global permissions. I will tell you also about the permissions we have.
All
Now,
right.
the last one is Microsoft Entra Suite, which is used for like a large scale enterprise where we have a zero trust security. We will don't use our the free plan or P2 plan. Here, the all the things in our hand. We can access our network also, the network access control, the IP addresses, the identity governance, all the things we can do the Microsoft Entra Suite, but it is $12 per month per user. Okay.
Okay.
So currently, which we are using our free plan. So we have some limited access. In the further classes, we can go for some the paid plans for the learning purposes. But these are also free. The P1 and P2 are also in the 30 days trial free. So we can also gonna use that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay, now again we will go here. If I now I want to try to log in this user. So what I will do, I will copy this. I will open an incognito mode here. The incognito mode here, I will open our portal, Azure portal, and what I will do, I will paste here your Gmail, then your the account detail. Now I will put my password also. Now I will gonna be sign in, I think.
Oh,
I think I
you've
didn't.
forgotten the password. Yep.
Yes,
If
like I have entered the
we will
random
go
number,
here.
and if I now
Yep.
I
You
want
can
to
you can
try
reset
to
the
log
password,
in
right?
this user.
Yes, we
So
can do.
what I will
We can
do, I
also
will
reset
reset
the
the
password
password
from
I
here
will
also.
open an
Right.
but
incognito
now
mode here.
I will do one thing. I will
The
check.
incognito mode here. I will open our portal, Azure portal,
I
and what
think
I
I
will
have
do, I will
entering this
paste
like
here
password, but
your Gmail, then your the account detail. Now I will put my password also. Now I will gonna be sign in, I think. Create
we
another
will
user.
go
If I will
here.
do the reset
If
and
I
all, it
now
will
I
take more
want to
time.
try to log in
Right. In
this
the
user.
meantime, I
So
can
what I will
create
do, I will
another
copy
user.
this.
The
I will
creating another user
open
also
an
give you another
incognito
recap.
mode here.
We can go for a test two. Test two here. Right now I will be using this password also. I will write it in my notepad. This password will be, and also this thing also. And now I will be go for the right now we can also create with the review plus create, and in the review plus create what we can do, the basics thing is left here. I think the name is not mentioned here, so the display name will be also test 2. Now we can again click on the review and create, and we will create our user. Now we again go to incognito mode. We will go here in the Azure. We'll use this MFA. After going to the per user MFA, we can add, we can disable, and we can enable MFA. But what happens? We can't able to disable an MFA right now. If you can, if you are saying this, okay. So the thing is, we are Right.
currently in free tier. So we are currently in the free tier. If I will enable, like you can see here, the status is disabled. Okay, the
Right.
status is here disabled, but it is also currently asking me for the multi-factor authentication, but the status is disabled. But if I will enable it, it will also ask me for the multi-factor authentication because currently we are in our free tier. If we are using our P1 and P2 tier, so it will didn't ask you about regarding this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now again we will go here. Like we have seen a tenant. So the tenant is also need to be always secure. Like I am currently showing you my tenant. So it might be possible to hack your whole Azure account using your tenant ID. Okay.
Okay.
So always, if you are sharing something to someone, it is possible your tenant ID gonna be. If you are sharing something with someone, your tenant ID will don't need to be leaked or something shared with someone. So it will be helps you to secure your Azure account. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if I will click on the virtual machine, so do you think it will work? No, it is currently not working. Like it is showing me welcome to Azure, but you don't have any subscriptions. Are you
Right,
seeing
because you're
this?
the test, whatever user. Yeah.
What I have given an IAM user, like we can say IAM user or our Active Directory user here, the test one, the test two one here. But we didn't give him any permission for any service. Okay,
Right.
we didn't give him any permission like regarding our any service like our virtual box, our Active Directory, any permission we didn't give it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So for that we also sing something called RBAC. It is like an important point for the cloud security perspective. But before that, I want you to share your screen and go up to here, create another user. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I will stop sharing my screen. Now it's your turn. You have to create another user going to the Active Directory. And before going to the Active Directory, you have to explain me what is tenant, what is tenant ID. And before going to the tenant, explain me what is ADDS, difference between ADDS and the difference between our Active Directory.
Okay.
At first, the question is the difference between Entra ID or Active Directory and our ADDS.
Okay. The
Before going
difference.
that, now,
Mm-hmm.
at first, I want you to tell me what is ADDS, what is our Active Directory or our Entra ID.
Okay. Active Directory is used on for on-premise infrastructure, and Entra ID is a cloud-based
Mhm.
or a cloud-hosted Active Directory service.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So can like from using ADDS or by using Intra ID, can we give any permission to our printer or our hardware or our Windows?
Entra ID.
Yes,
Entra ID
using
is
Intra ID.
cloud-based. For printers, no.
No. So for if I want to give set some policies to our printer or for our Windows server, what should I have to use?
You use Active Directory.
Sure. So
You use the
for
Active
that, I have
Directory
to use
domain.
not no yes, Active Directory domain.
Domain, yes, service.
Yes, domain service. The Active Directory is different. Active Directory is a previously name used for our intra ID. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can go to the entra like for the search intra ID. There is a Microsoft intra ID. So can you tell me what is tenant here?
This is the tenant,
Mm-hmm.
which is a unique. identification for this
Mhm.
Azure account, and it
Mhm.
also acts as and this is the primary domain for this
Mhm.
account. So any user
Mhm.
that will be created under this account is going to will have this domain to be able to connect to the
Mhm.
resources, able to connect to the
Yes.
resources in this domain.
Okay. That's good. So now if I want to add some user, where I have to go?
So you want to add users. Let's see, click users. We'll go to
Mhm.
users, and then if you can add a single user from here,
Yes.
and you can
Yes.
also do bulk operations and add from here if you want to create multiple users at a time. So for now,
Yes.
we want to create a single user. I'm going to use
Mhm.
this one, create the user. We're going to call the user
Mhm.
um cloud test. So the user is cloud test.
Yes.
Those create auto generate. No, I'm going to create a
Yes.
password for the user.
Yes. You can create your
So
own
I do.
password.
uh, mhm. Okay, let's auto generate it since it doesn't. So let's auto generate.
Yes.
All right. So copy the password. Let me just copy and put it on a notepad somewhere. All right. So auto generated. So we're gonna do next, which is properties.
So what we
Normally
have to enter here?
enter the job title, the first name, last name, the employee ID, the group they belong to, whatever. I mean, all the information that belongs to refers to that user. But for now, we're not
Yes.
gonna do it because it's gonna take our time. So
Hmm.
we're gonna do review and create. Mm,
There's something left behind in your basics. You didn't enter the name. You have to go back. You have to go one previous again. Click here
okay,
again. One again. You have to enter the display name also here, which will be gonna display on the Microsoft Azure account.
okay.
Yes.
About this. Okay. All right. So that is the name, and this will be the user's login. Domain. And then we do create.
Yes. You can refresh there in the top there. Also in the here also a refresh option.
Okay.
Hmm. You can do both. It depends upon you.
So we refresh, and now we have our
Cloud
cloud
test.
user. So if we click
Yes.
on cloud test,
Now
um,
you can open any incognito mode and go there in
right.
go
So
there and do the login. Yes, that's good. Now you can check at first to access any service. Now you can do
okay,
the cancel at first. Do the cancel, and you can
okay.
check any virtual box or anything.
Let's create. You do not have subscription. Check out the following options.
Yes. So what happens currently? We if right now we are working, but the thing is, we are currently having our account. We didn't give any roles. We didn't give any permissions and any service related access to our IAM user or our other user or our we can say our employee. We didn't give any access to our employee yet. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so it is showing us this. So for that, we're gonna learn something called RBAC. Wait a minute, I will share my screen.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. RBAC, that is role-based access control. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
put
that's
my
fine.
mic on mute.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes, yes. Wait a minute. I'm sharing my screen
Okay.
with you. Yes, now it is visible.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so at first, before going to the roles and all these things, we also have two portals. Okay, one portal is our Azure portal, which we are seeing currently. Okay,
Okay.
and one another we also have Microsoft Entra portal. I will show you. It is looks like this. This is our Microsoft Entra portal. It is all regarding our admin settings, about our users, about our roles. We all do here Microsoft Entra Admin Center. Okay.
Okay.
Currently we have our free account, but if we want that, like if we want our user don't get the multi-factor authentication thing, so what we can do, we will go here inside our protection setting, like it is games inside our protection setting. Inside
Mm-hmm.
our protection, what we will do, we will check our authentication methods, like our authentication method. Here we see multiple things like our policies. There, our policy regarding multi-factor authentication, it is allowed for all users, like enabled, yes. You can see here,
Right.
yes. And also the same for the registration campaign. Here, it is also enabled. Multi-factor authentication is,
Right.
like if you are seeing here, the authentication is allowed for all users here. I am going to share you this link also. You can also add this inside your cloud security.
Okay.
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 Now we're gonna see the difference between this portal and our Azure portal, and which will we gonna use. Got that? You got that?
Yes. Let me copy it. Copy. Copy and drop it here. Yep. I got it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. So you can do the same login there, but all the things are here related to your user login, your verified ID, user permission related things, user identity related things, all the groups which we are doing here inside our Entra ID. We can do that, all the things there, but this portal is all regarding our users, all
Okay. So that is
regarding our
called
users and permissions.
that's the
Yes.
admin, the Entra admin center.
Yes, this is the Entra Admin Center. This is regarding our Entra ID, where what we can do, we can create multiple users, and we can what we can do also, we can create multiple users there, and we can give them all the policies. We can add the users from also here. If we see the all users, all users settings are also here, but this is same as here.
but this is only regarding our Entra setting. But our Azure portal is all regarding our all the services we have. We have here our virtual machines also, our databases also. But the Azure Entra ID is only regarding our all the permissions related thing. Okay,
Right.
right. Okay. So this is regarding our services and all. We can do the delete thing. We can do the password reset thing. Okay. But
Okay.
for the password reset also, you can see here we have a free premium plan for this. Okay.
Okay.
So Active Directory, I also ever told you there is a multiple plans and multiple things we can't be able to use in the free tier. So in the further classes, we will upgrade our plan. So it will be give us a 30 days free trial. So we will use all also these. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now what I want to do as a cloud security engineer, our company wants our new employee will need access of our virtual machines. Okay,
Okay.
our new employee name is Test 2. He want to access these virtual machines, but currently he can't be able to access our virtual machines. So what we will gonna do, we will go to our Microsoft Azure account. There is a thing called our RBAC, role based access control. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now I will tell you what is RBAC. There are two things. One is RBAC and one is our roles. Okay. So our RBAC is role based access control. Our role based access control at first. So what we will do here as the in our AWS, if you know, if you are creating any IAM user, so you will give him some permissions, like you will give him some admin permissions, you will give him some read only permissions, you will give him some only some services accesses. Okay, you do these
Okay.
things. Okay, so in Azure, we don't work like this. So in Azure, like if we created any user, so at first we have to go the service, like which service access we want to give the user. Like if I want to give all the services, like all the services access to the user, so we will go inside our subscription service. There also a service named subscription. It is a subscription service.
Okay.
Okay, this is a subscription service which is for our subscription plan. If we are having our company's main account here, we will say root account, and it is a IAM role or a Active Directory user. So what we have a subscription. Currently we are on free subscription. So what I want to do, if I want to share my all the properties, like all my services access to the AD user, at first I have to go my subscription service, and from the subscription service I can give him this access. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let us try it first, and I will tell you another things also. We can do something like that if we are created any instance, or if we are creating any virtual machines in our Azure. So, like if we are having one, two, three, these three virtual machines. So, what we also can do, we can give only this two second virtual machines access to this user. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, how we gonna do this? We're gonna go back, and we're gonna again go to my our screen here. So, I have told you the service name subscriptions. Okay, this is the subscription
Right.
services. You can also search here the subscriptions. You have to go there. Inside going to any service, like if you are going for the database service, okay, like Azure SQL, if you are going. Okay, it is opening. So from here, we also can give any database access to our another user. But currently, if we are going for the subscriptions, so the subscription plan will we give all the accesses to this user which can't be able to access any service right now. So from here our all the policies parts came in the picture. So what we have to do, we'll click on subscription name. So you're gonna see here something like that. So here you can see any an access control. There are multiple things, like activity logs. We can set the tags, we can set up the securities diagnosis, and the billing we all can set from here. But now we will go for the access control part, the IAM part. If we are going to the IAM part here, so what we will gonna do, we will add here, we will add a role assignment. There are a co-administrator, a custom role, but we are gonna give any role assignment currently. I will click on the role assignment part here. And after there, you are seeing the two things: job function roles and privilege administration roles. Do you know about these? Like, can you guess what is job functions role and privileged administrator role? Can you guess?
Privileged administrator, that would be like the admin of the account, the person who have access to all resources.
Mhm. And the job functions roles.
It will depend on what the person's role in the company. Maybe they are HR or they are let's just say accounting. So the permissions will be given depending on that person's role or job title in the company.
No, no. The job functions role is like they gives you multiple small roles, like the reader role, the arc push, the basic, the smallest role you have breakdown. Okay, like the Azure AI administrator. These are all the small roles. If you want to give any particular access, like if I will gonna only give access, so we can also go for the virtual. Okay, so there we can select the classical virtual machine contributor. These roles we can also select. Okay, these are gives only
Okay.
functions. Functions mean the small parts access. If we want to give any small chunk services access, so we will select this job functions role. And the privileged administrator roles. Wait a minute. Is I'm selected here something? Not yet. Yes. Okay. So the privileged administrator role is gives us the main roles. Like you wanna give this that user a owner access. Okay.
Okay.
You wanna give that user a contributor access. So what is the difference between the owner and the contributor? So a owner can give someone other the same access, and the contributor can't be give. Like if we are creating this user as a owner, so he gonna also be create some other another users. Okay,
Okay.
but if we are giving it a contributor, he can access all the services, but it can't assign roles to someone. Not allows you to assign roles. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the best practices, we don't give like we gives the owner roles to very like the less employees in our company which gonna need this, and every user need the contributor role. And after that, the contributor role, we can all give him the user access administrator, which will manage access Azure resources. We can only manage users access. Okay, so now we are
Okay.
don't gonna think about these all. We're gonna select our contributor role, and we're gonna next. Now he will ask me, there are the selected role is contributor, assign access to user. It means to which you wanna give access. You wanna give access to user, you wanna give access to any group, or you wanna give access on or any service principal. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So and you want to give the access to managed identity. So the managed identity means like this is used by like Azure services like virtual machines, app services to secure authenticate like for the authentication to Azure resources. Like if you want to give like there are two things, like you are having your virtual machine and the second you are having your storage. You want to connect those two things privately, you can use the managed identity. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're gonna select now, we're gonna assign this user. Basically, it is a user like test2 user. I want to give this user that, so I will gonna select this member. I will gonna select member. From selecting this member, I will enter this member. I think it is a test2. Gonna to test2. I gonna select it. I can give any description why I am adding this as a contributor. Here I can add any description. Now I can go to the next part. Here we can review and assign it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens? I have given him all the access, but it will take some time to reflect here. I have to wait few minutes here. So he will also shows us the part like if I will open a virtual machine. Now you can see here. Now we can access the virtual machines. Now it is not showing us you don't have any subscription message. Are you seeing this?
Yes, I'm seeing.
Yes. Okay, so now you can again go to your screen and explain me these things also and give the contributor access to another user you have created.
Okay.